Live with studios in Midland and Odessa, you're watching CBS7 First Alert News at 9 on the CW West
If we come
Texas.
to an agreement of a percentage, then let the firefighters determine how they're going to come up with that percentage, be it more contributions or be it cut in benefits or changes of the structure of the benefit structures.
It doesn't feel like the city administration has our back. It doesn't feel like our administration has our back. It feels like we are being forced into some changes, whether it's affecting the young firefighter or the old firefighter. We are all in this to try to make some solution.
Today, a meeting was held to show how Midland firefighters reacted to city proposals to fix their pension fund. Coming up in just a few minutes, more on how the fund would affect those firefighters. Good evening and thanks for joining us here for CBS 7 News at 9 on the CW. And thanks to those of you joining us live on our CBS 7 YouTube page. I'm Jay Hendricks and we start tonight with an update for you. Angel Luis LeBron Rivera was convicted of capital murder back on July 3rd. Today, a Midland County jury found him guilty, deciding that he would not be sentenced to the death penalty, but will instead serve life in prison without the possibility of parole. The jury heard 2 weeks worth of additional evidence before deciding not to sentence him with the death penalty. The deliberation took just 5.5 hours. The Midland County District Attorney's Office explained that in a death penalty case, juries must answer two questions. Is it likely the defendant will be criminally violent in ways that are a threat to society? And is there evidence that makes the jury believe the defendant should receive a life sentence instead of the death penalty? The jury answered no to the first question, which means they did not have to answer the second question. You're looking at video now from 2018 when the bodies of the two teenagers LeBron Rivera murdered were found in a tree farm in Midland County. 3 years after they went missing. LeBron Rivera was captured in the Dominican Republic and extradited back to Midland. His trial started in April of this year. Continuing to track crime, the Odessa Police Department needs your help about a series of crimes that happened last night in North and Northeast Odessa. Roughly a dozen incidents were reported where unknown people shot out parked unoccupied car windows with a BB gun. At this time, there are no suspects, but they say anyone who has video or may be a victim is encouraged to contact Odessa police. Brewster County deputies arrested two men who were in the country illegally when a deputy made a traffic stop yesterday. They say the man who was pulled over was driving without a license, and his passenger had an active warrant for his arrest out of Midland County. The investigation revealed both men were in the U.S. illegally. The driver was turned over to the Border Patrol while the passenger will be sent back to authorities in Midland. The Midland Firefighter Pension Fund must devise a comprehensive plan to bring the amortization period down to 25 years. Today, firefighters young and old and the Midland City Council members sat down to talk through some of those proposals. Now, after a plan is devised, it will then need to be presented to the Texas Pension Review Board by September of 2025. A lot of concerns revolve around two options, the changing of benefits and the increased contributions for firefighters. However, the decision will affect the younger firefighters differently than older ones.
The increase of contributions mostly impacts young firefighters because they have a lower total income, and so increasing their contribution impacts their month-to-month bills more than it does the older firefighters. But the benefit package impacts everyone uniformly. I think the weight of that is felt more strongly by older firefighters who are closer to retirement, who understand those concerns.
It was also revealed that the pension fund is facing a significant financial crisis. The fund is underfunded by a staggering $120 million and is in an infinite amortization status, which means that the fund will be unable to meet the retirement benefits owed to the firefighters, which is another issue being discussed. Time now to talk your weather forecast. It was a little bit cooler today, and there were some clouds around. Looked like we might see some rain. Chief Meteorologist Tom Teefer-Teller joined us. Tom, any more in that forecast?
We are going to see some more scattered showers and thunder showers in the weekend forecast and into the early part of next week as we'll be dealing with another front. Now, the front today has moved down into the mountain areas, but a lot of the thunder shower activity winding down now that the sun has set, so not too much out there. But we did see upwards to 3/4 of an inch of rain in Alpine, lighter amounts from Pecos into the northern Permian Basin and over towards Big Lake. but it was enough to help cool things off just a little bit out there, as we saw temperatures today only up to 90 in Alpine and Pecos, lower 90s across the Permian Basin, and Wink only topped out at 84 degrees, dealing with scattered showers and thunder showers. Everything drying out right now, and temperatures are much cooler as the rain really dropped temperatures into the lower 70s around the Alpine area. So looking at a pretty quiet overnight, near 70 on the overnight low. Tomorrow, a little bit of a warm up, but isolated showers and thunderstorms back with us coming up this weekend.
In your oil and gas news now, Texans are feeling a little bit of relief at the pump as gas prices are down 6 cents from last week. According to a report from AAA, Midlanders can expect to pay $3.03 a gallon. Drivers in Odessa can expect to pay $3.05. That's down from $3.13 last week. Drivers in Lubbock are seeing the lowest gas prices at $2.91. El Paso residents are paying the most, where the average price is $3.45 per gallon. The Gale Pond Alamo Elementary School is moving into the new tech network starting this fall. The move will open up more opportunities, they say, for the teachers and for the students. Principal Alicia Sessions of Gale Pond Alamo Elementary decided to pursue joining New Tech Networks after seeing how successful New Tech Odessa has been as a part of that same network. Sessions believes the school is not gaining any attention because people have forgotten about it or believe it is still a year-round school. But after COVID-19, the school changed to follow the ECISD schedule. With the school joining New Tech Networks, they will now be working on project-based learning.
Kind of one of the draws to project-based learning is that because kids have a choice and kids have a voice in how they're learning and the way that they're expressing that learning, it just creates their excitement, and it creates a more engaging environment for the kids than just sitting at a desk doing worksheets.
Starting this school year, pre-K through second grade will be doing project-based learning. Third through fifth grade will begin their project-based learning in the next 2 years. First day of school is right around the corner, August 12th. The Ellen Noel Art Museum partnered with Oxy to bring Art to Go to every second grade class in ECISD. Art to Go will provide art supplies to every second grade student in ECISD and participating MISD elementary schools for this upcoming school year.
The second graders are still very confident. They love making art. But then the other side effect from that is that it helps them across the curriculum. It helps them with all their other classes.
Stanley says developing art skills can help specifically with math and reading comprehension. Midland's Habitat for Humanity dedicated their 195th home today to Angelica Brown and her family. Actually, this happened on Monday. Take a look at their new home. Angelica is an employee with the City of Midland. She completed the 250 hours of sweat equity on her job site for her new home. She also completed a home ownership education program to get that new home. We're getting new information about the shooter who tried to kill former President Trump. A law enforcement source tells CBS News that the gunman's father called police before the shooting at the rally, worried about his son and his whereabouts. We're also learning more about who knew what and when in the critical half hour before that gunman opened fire. CBS's Meg Oliver takes us through what we're learning about a timeline from Pennsylvania.
3 sources from a closed-door briefing between lawmakers and federal officials tell CBS News the U.S. Secret Service was aware of a suspicious person 20 minutes before he attempted to kill former President Trump. They also say the shooter, 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks, had searched online about depression for images of Trump and President Biden when the DNC was taking place and how to build an explosive device. Crooks started setting off alarm bells at least half an hour before the assassination attempt, when local police reported a suspicious person near the building. A local tactical sniper inside a neighboring building spotted him from a second-floor window and snapped this picture. Crooks then pulled out a rangefinder and the sniper alerted his team. The shooter then climbed an air conditioning unit onto the building near the sniper's position. At 5:51 p.m., state police alerted the U.S. Secret Service about a suspicious person and radioed a description within 1 minute. At 6 p.m., the former president was allowed to take the stage. 10 minutes later, Secret Service snipers were alerted about an issue unfolding to Trump's right. but it's too late. At 6:11, shots ring out and chaos erupts in the crowd.
Somebody got shot over here!
At the Republican National Convention last night, Republican senators confronted Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle,
Resignation or full explanation to us right now.
demanding to know why the president was even allowed to take the stage.
You owe President Trump answers.
Former Secret Service agent Charles Marino says Trump should never have started his speech.
He should be held in a secure area until the threat is ultimately resolved, and then it's concluded that there's no additional other threats.
Today, hundreds of people turned out to pay their respects at a visitation for 50-year-old Corey Comparator, who died at the rally. He leaves behind a wife and 2 children. A private funeral is scheduled for Friday. Meg Oliver, CBS News, Freeport, Pennsylvania.
Still ahead, former President Donald Trump takes the stage to accept his party's nomination for the 3rd time. The latest on the final day of the RNC, up next. Former President Donald Trump is set to accept a record 3rd Republican presidential nomination on the final night of his party's convention tonight. Delegates are eager to hear his first major speech since Saturday's assassination attempt. CBS News correspondent Natalie Brand reports from Milwaukee.
Former President Donald Trump arrived to cheers on the final night of the Republican National Convention, poised to accept the party's nomination for the nation's highest office for the 3rd time in 8 years, joining a crowd eager to hear the tone Trump will take after surviving an assassination attempt.
He has told us it will be a message of unity and love. He's told us that his original speech that he had planned to give tonight has been torn up, and so who knows what he will say.
I'd like to hear a message of conciliation. I know he's gone through a lot. It may have changed his attitude toward giving a sense of the fragility of life and how we need to make the most of every day in front of us, and perhaps some outreach to people that may show that he is the human being we believe he is.
While this week has focused on unity, bringing Republicans here together, the GOP is also focused on taking the fight to Democrats to try and win back the White House.
He has to put his energy on uniting us, giving us tough love, and just displaying his stance of power, which is what he did when he stood up, put his shoes back on, and yelled our battle cry, fight, fight, fight.
It's a rallying cry this week at the RNC, especially over top voter issues, including immigration and the economy. The newly minted Republican ticket will rally together in the battleground state of Michigan Saturday, working to carry momentum from this week's convention. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Well, we are going to be looking at a little bit more in the way of isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms this weekend. A welcome change for July. We'll talk about that coming up next.
Now, from the CBS7 First Alert Weather Center, here's Chief Meteorologist Tom Tiefertiller.
Well, taking a look at the satellite and radar view this evening, we had a lot of showers and thunder showers that dropped up to 3/4 of an inch of rain around Alpine. All that's gone as the sun set and a lot of the daytime heating went with it, so we're not seeing too much form up out there along that front. That front will kind of be in the same place. It's going to kind of wash out a little bit, but could serve as a focus for some isolated showers, thunderstorms tomorrow. It cooled things off quite a bit. Lower 70s for Fort Davis and Alpine, 77 in Saragossa, lower 80s out across the western Permian Basin. Not too bad here in the Permian Basin. Thanks to that front, we're into the mid to upper 80s at the present time. High pressure has scooted away to the west, put us in a northerly flow in the upper levels, so that allowed that front to whip on down into West Texas early this morning and kicked off those showers and thunder showers, even though rainfall amounts were light, except for Alpine. Again, nearly 3/4 of an inch of rain coming down. This flow is going to allow for more outflow boundaries to come down, kick off more scattered showers and thunder showers, and I think that's really going to be the case coming up later on Saturday and into Sunday when the next cold front looks to arrive. Now, taking a look at satellite and radar view again across the state, a lot of this thunder shower activity winding down, but temperatures were cooler behind that front into the low 90s from Lubbock over towards the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Ahead of the front, still looking at triple digits. Del Rio up to 101. Now, the futurecast is showing some quieter weather in our forecast coming up here over the next 24 hours or so. Again, the mountain areas, southeast of Mexico, maybe an isolated shower or thunderstorm, but they look to be very isolated. Then we'll be watching some outflow boundaries to start to move down out of the Texas Panhandle. That could serve as a focus for some thunderstorms to pop up Saturday afternoon. Again, we're going with about a 40% chance through the evening hours across the Permian Basin, so not everybody getting wet out of this, but it is in the forecast, and keep that in mind with your outdoor plans. Tonight, Lower 70s on the way. We're taking those thunderstorms out of the forecast. And then for tomorrow, we're looking at temperatures into the mid 90s across the area. And your CBS7 First Alert exclusive 10-day forecast, well, it does look like we are going to be seeing those temperatures again cooling off quite a bit behind that front and increasing the rain chances to about 50%. So again, not a total washout across West Texas, but some isolated, widely scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to hang around into next week and help us out on temperatures.
Still ahead, there is a place where flying feels glamorous again in a credit card airport lounge. Up next, we'll tell you how credit card companies are fighting for customers by bribing them with travel perks. There is a new unlikely battle brewing just in time for the busy travel season that's heating up. It's taking place inside of airport lounges, a perk offered by many credit card companies, including Amex and Chase. Bradley Blackburn takes us inside what some are calling a lounge war.
There's a place where flying feels glamorous again. This is the Chase Sapphire Lounge at New York's LaGuardia Airport.
Is this the largest Chase Lounge?
It is. It's about over 21,000 square feet, so it's the largest one we have to date.
Chase's Dana Powles showed us how it has everything from full meals and craft cocktails to spa services. There's a playroom for young children and a game room for kids of any age. Once you're inside, all of it is free for cardholders who pay a $550 annual fee and their guests.
Obviously, it costs money to provide all this to your customers, but you find this is a reason that people retain their cards.
So it's one of the top reasons people both get and keep their card.
Airport lounges are a fierce battlefield for credit card companies, hoping to bank customers. American Express's Centurion lounges are in almost 30 locations around the globe. And Capital One is expanding quickly, too.
The market is moving so fast. I think even since we introduced some of these features, we're seeing more and more of the competition begin to mimic them.
It's families, it's leisure travelers.
Lounges are one reason the points guy Brian Kelly says cards with high annual fees of $500 or more can be worth it.
Concessions in airports, bottles of water are $10. You've got a family and you can go to the lounge and get everyone fed and happy on a flight. There's a huge value to that.
70% of interest in fee-based credit cards comes from millennials and Gen Z. That's why these spaces are now built for young families like Mike and Tracy Wall and their daughter Madeline.
Anything you can do to make traveling with a toddler easier is well worth it.
Lounges determined to win friends in a war where travelers might be the winners.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Still ahead, what's your favorite dinosaur? Do you know what it's worth? Well, if you answered Stegosaurus, first question is we can answer the second one for you in just a few minutes. All right, Tom, what's your favorite dinosaur?
Dino Martin.
Dino Martin. You are so funny.
Anyway.
So this might be subjective, but you're looking right there. We have the definitive answer, and it's the most expensive. Apex the Stegosaurus. There you go. Just sold for a whopping $44.6 million. Now, here's my question. You got that much money. Okay, buy it. That's fine. Where do you put it, though?
I guess it's a conversation piece in the den.
Maybe you give it to a museum or something. But this is a lot more than the previous record holder, which was Stan the T-Rex, which fetched nearly $32 million. Apex, by the way, was excavated during the 2022-2023 year. 254 of her 319 bones are real fossils. The rest were either 3D printed or sculpted. Big? Yep. 11 feet tall, nearly 27 feet long. Again, where would you put this thing? I just don't know.
A museum, like you said.
It's not known who submitted the winning bid or if they plan on displaying Apex publicly, but there you go, the most expensive at just under $45 million, the Stegosaurus. So that is the answer to the question of, I guess, the most expensive.
I wonder how they come up with that figure.
It's just what somebody bid, I guess.
You know, it seems like something like that would be like a moon rock, almost priceless, okay?
Right. I think this is too.
Anyway, though, so, well, back in West Texas where we found a few fossils out there, especially go down to Big Bend, a beautiful display there of the fossils they found in the park. Well, it's going to be a little on the warm side coming up tomorrow, but isolated thunderstorms are back in the forecast, scattered about this weekend into next week. helping us out with temperatures.
At least you didn't say fossils were found here on the desk. That's good. Thanks for joining us here for CBS 7 First Alert News at 9 on the CW. More news coming up tonight after the RNC.